Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about a topic in English that many people confuse or consider difficult. Have you ever been confused about whether you should use much or many? Or did your brain burn out trying to figure out the difference between a few and few? Why is money uncountable? When is hair countable and when is it uncountable? What's the difference between a lot of, lots of, and plenty of? So let's understand the philosophy of the matter. Why did linguists divide nouns into two groups? Let's start from the very basics. Countable and uncountable nouns. The logic is very simple. Everything you can count one by one is countable. One apple, two apples, three apples. We can add the s suffix to the end. One book, two books, one car, two cars. If it can be counted, it can be pluralized. A countable noun can be singular, can be pluralized, a number can come in front of it. But what about those that cannot be counted, meaning uncountable? Look, there are four main categories that will blow your mind. Liquids and gases. For example, water, milk, oxygen, air, coffee. You cannot count the water itself, you can count its container. Small and granular substances. For example, rice, sugar, salt, sand. It's obvious that we are not in a position to sit down and count salt grains one by one, are we? Abstract concepts, for example, happiness, love, knowledge, time, information, collective and mass nouns, for example, money, furniture, luggage, baggage, and homework. Can you count water one by one? One water, two water, three water? No. You can only count its glass, not itself. Would you have enough time to count rice one by one? Of course not. Water, milk, air, information, money. Yes, the word money itself is not counted. We count it like dollars, euros. Remember, these are not pluralized, do not accept s at the end, and are always used in the singular form. Why is money uncountable? Guys, you don't say one money, two money. You count dollars, euros, and coins. Currency is counted, but the word money itself is uncountable. The same thing applies to furniture. Chair is counted, table is counted, but the word furniture, which is the general name for all of them, is not counted. Now we come to the world of quantifiers, words indicating quantity. What do we use when we have a lot of things? We have reached the most interesting part. So let's say we have a lot of things in our hands. Which word should we use? Many, much, a lot of, lots of, or plenty of. Remember it like this. Many makes friends only with countables. For example, I have many friends. There are many books here. Used only with plural nouns, mainly used in question and negative sentences. Also, it can also be in affirmative sentences. It sounds formal. For example, are there many students in the class? I don't have many ideas. Much hangs out only with uncountables. For example, I don't have much time. How much money do you need? Used only with singular uncountable nouns. Most of the time, it likes question and negative sentences. For example, do you have much work today? We don't have much time. And I'll teach you a cheat code. If you urgently need to say a lot in a test or in speaking, and you forgot whether the noun is countable or uncountable, use a lot of. Yes, a lot of works with both countables and uncountables. For example, a lot of apples, a lot of water. It's correct in both. However, remember that many and much are liked more in question and negative sentences, while a lot of is liked in affirmative sentences. Guys, in spoken language, native speakers really don't like saying many or much in affirmative sentences. They use a lot of or lots of. For example, I have a lot of friends, or I have a lot of money. There are lots of cars, or there are lots of sugar. When you want to say a little, few, don't fall into the trap. Now we come to the most confusing part, words indicating a small amount. The article a here changes the fate of the entire sentence. First, let's make the division. Few and a few for countables, little and a little for uncountables. So what does that article a at the beginning change? This is so important. For example, if I say I have a little water, it's positive. It means it's little, but it's enough for me. But if I say I have little water without the article, this is negative. It means it is so little that it's almost non-existent, it won't be enough. The same thing applies to few. If I say I have a few friends, it means it's enough for me. I don't suffer from loneliness. But if I say I have few friends, it means almost none. I feel lonely. Did you see the difference? A tiny article A at the beginning changes the whole energy of the sentence to positive. Just by forgetting the article A at the beginning, you might send the wrong message to the person in front of you. And plenty of means more than enough. For example, don't rush, we have plenty of time. It is used with both countables and uncountables. Okay, if everything is clear up to this point, let's expand our minds a bit more. Let's talk about the exceptions. Nouns that are both countable and uncountable. Those that change according to context. For example, the word hair. The hair on your head as a whole is uncountable. For example, she has long hair. A single hair coming out of foot is countable. For example, there is a hair in my soup. The word coffee and tea. As a substance, it's uncountable. For example, I love coffee. When ordering in a restaurant in the sense of a cup, it's countable. For example, can we have 2 coffees, please? The word light, sunlight or room light is uncountable. For example, there is not enough light in this room. In the sense of a lamp, it's countable. For example, turn on the lights. The word paper. As a material, it's uncountable. For example, this is made of a paper. In the sense of a newspaper or document, it's countable. For example, I bought a paper this morning. When it comes to quantifiers some and any, some is used in affirmative sentences. For example, I have some free time or I have some apples. Any is used in negative and question sentences. For example, I don't have any money or do you have any questions? If you're offering something to someone or making a request, some is used in a question sentence. For example, would you like some tea or can I have some water? If we summarize everything we have learned, countables, pluralized, few, a few, many are used. Uncountables, not pluralized, a little, little, and much are used. A lot of, lots of, plenty of, some, any. Loves both. So guys, as you can see, this is actually not as difficult as you exaggerated in your mind. You just need to catch the right logic. If this video was useful for you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.